Welcome to another Luke review. Today, we're doing timecode. Timecode's super important because post-production is expensive. If you're running good timecode on set on all devices and they're all on the same page, guess what? Post-production's gonna go much faster. Of course, you can use a slate, but every machine drifts naturally. So there's a new method of making sure that nothing drifts, and that is having these groovy little boxes. So let's start at the beginning where most shoots start, with the slate. I've got a TC-1 box right here, and I've got an 1/8" cable right here. I'm gonna plug it into this slate. Now we're running. Currently running these little boxes, we have the slate, we have the audio bag, and we have camera B, and we have camera A. So these have been out for a little while now, and we bought a set because we have to shoot a lot. And our number of cameras or various devices varies constantly from shoot to shoot. Having one consistent thing on every set has been a godsend. These are super reasonably priced, as are most Deity items. They're $199 a piece. Let's talk just a little bit about the basic features that come with this and actually make it worth quite a bit more than $199, if we're being honest. First, they have a locking port on the side. All of the cables that come with also lock. So you're never going to accidentally yank one out on set. They all have Bluetooth 5.0 with a maximum range of 250 feet. So that when you're controlling them with whatever device you're using to control them, an iPad, Android, your phone, you can actually go quite a ways and still make sure to keep all of them locked. Also, they have a 2.4 gigahertz radio. That's right, 2.4 gigahertz. You know that gigahertz. That is microwave ovens and Wi-Fi, but these little guys use that to stay synced to each other. So even if you aren't using the Citus app, which is the app that you use to control these, they can still remain perfectly locked to each other. They support all SMPTE timecode formats, and only one frame of drift every 72 hours. Now, between you and me and whoever's running this camera who's actually good at this, the documentation says 48 hours, but the website says 72 hours. I really want to try this out. How could I possibly figure out whether or not these can last at least 48 hours? Good question. It all comes down to power, doesn't it? It does. So, on the bottom, you have a USB-C. That means that you can plug in an external USB power source and run it from that. According to massively respected and handsome director of photography, Martin Wheeler, they can actually last for 24 hours. That is fantastic. On the internal battery, they take about 2 hours to charge, and depending on what kit you get, they come with little Medusa chargers. Oh my God, I love that. So nifty. It actually works too. It's not one of those like kind of finicky, garbagey things. No, you can plug in 3 of these simultaneously to pretty much any block, and they'll go in 2 hours. Yay! I've never actually had to shoot for 24 hours yet. It's probably gonna happen. It has 3 LEDs for working in the dark and for information at a glance. First, it has this little power. It's like, okay, have you powered it up? Is it charging? Who knows? Right now that's not on, but the actual box is. In the middle, we have the sync light, which is flashing green to indicate that it is happily synced. It has not dropped a frame. We've been shooting for a good 20 minutes, so yay! Lastly, over here, we have the pairing light. This indicates whether or not it's ready to pair with either another TC-1 to create a network or with an actual app so that you can control it from, as mentioned, up to 250 feet away. God, I want to try that. I'm sure it'll come up. It's going to come up. It comes with hook and loop on the back, and stickies so that you can apply it to, well, whatever you want to apply it to. They also come with cold shoe mounts. Currently, the best deal is the triple kit, which comes with 3 of everything that you need to actually function, assuming you don't have a really odd timecode input on whatever device you're using to record. And you get all that for only $439. Gosh, what a deal. They come with a little microphone on the top. So if you want to use these on a device that doesn't have a dedicated timecode input, you can plug these in, generate timecode out of here, and also have the scratch mic so that you can catch things like slates. What a great idea. A little extra built in, just for you. Just for you. Hey, let's talk about operating one now, because not really intuitive. For instance, they only have 2 input devices. They have this little twirly, scrolly dial situation, and then they have a baton. To turn one on, just for instance, or off, it's just a long hold. Now, you're used to long holds, right? I can tell. I'm looking at you. You're completely used to a long hold in order to power down. I've been holding this for a while. Still not off. Why? Oh, because you have to unlock it. How do you think you unlock it? What a great question. Let's ask somebody who has no idea. Roy! 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 Can you come here for a minute? I have asked Roy-san, master photographer, to come in and figure out how to unlock this in order to use it. Roy-san, what the fuck are... Oh, hey, listen. What I would like to do is manipulate some of the menu items in here. Can you figure out how to do that? Roy-san is very technical. Let's see if he can do it.
Nope.
Looks like a no.
There's 2 buttons and nothing's working. So
Well, there is an unlock sequence. Can you guess what it is?
is it you holding something? No, I don't want to turn it off. You holding that? No, no idea. Never seen anything like this before.
Thank you, Roy-san. Point perfectly illustrated. You cannot figure this out intuitively. The trick is to hit the yellow button 3 times, and then you can get 3 times. Yes. Now I can get in and actually access the menu, which you can't see at all from here. But nonetheless, some things you can do from the menu is A, figure out if you want to make this the master or not, which means that through that 2.4 gigahertz network, all the other devices will look to this to be the master timecode. You can change the actual timecode rate. As previously mentioned, any and all SMPTE frame rates are accepted. I left it alone for too long, it locked. And the little tiny lock indicates whether or not it's locked. And so after the lock, master/slave timecode, you have what channel this is transmitting on. So this is the 2.4 gigahertz, but of course it's 2.4 something, something, something. And if there's something in your vicinity that's blocking, you can change channels. You have an A through H number of different channels. Assuming you're in like a very crowded office block or something of that nature, this could be a very handy feature to make sure that they can all still talk to each other. Next, you have input-output options. Of course, you can jam these externally, but you do have to set it to accept external timecode because they don't default to that. Your options are L-in, L-out, A-out. L-in requires just line-level timecode. L-out outputs line-level timecode. So if you're using any other device that can record audio and you can sacrifice a track, you can output actual audio timecode to a channel, and then that device is synced, even if it doesn't have native timecode. So that's the L-out function using this output. And then you have A output, which for whatever reason indicates that you're at mic level. This also could work better for some DSLR cameras. Your mileage may vary. You're gonna have to experiment with that one, but it will work. One of those 2 settings categorically will give you timecode on a DSLR. Next on the menu, we have the TC settings. You have 3. These are sync, which means that it's going to feed timecode to other devices. You have set, which means that you set the timecode. You can start it at 0s or really anywhere you want. And of course, as previously mentioned, you have X, which means that you are jamming this from something else. Next, you have the Bluetooth functionality, on or off. If you're not using Bluetooth, just turn it off. It'll give you a little bit of extra power at the end of the day. The last menu item is just general settings, so you can, change your firmware, change the name of it. I call them Little Buddy 1, Little Buddy 2, and Little Buddy 6, because I'm trying to freak out one of the DPs. So, there's all the information you need to know about these little boxes. They're reasonably tough, beautifully designed, they're very small. I wanted to compare it to, AirPods. They come with the Dr. Hickenlooper situation on the back. I mean, we're not like excessively violent with gear, but we're also not babying anything. So far, they're totally fine. Anyway, they're my new timecode box, and I use timecode for everything I do. Highly recommended. You should go get one. Or 3. Or you know what? Now that we're discussing it, they need to make a 5-pack because aren't most good shoots like 3 cameras sort of minimum situation? Then you need your slate, and then you need this. Who knows what else you have to jam out there? You can jam a million different things. They should make a 6-pack. Anyway, you pull out your phone. The app is excellent and lets you see all the most relevant information. A, if they're synced to each other. B, if they're synced to the actual timecode that you started out with. And C, what the battery life is. Of course, you also get additional information like what the actual overall timecode is and what your frame rate is, just to make sure, just to make yourself feel a little better. But being able to just pull this up and individually work with or address every single one, or apparently you can have up to 20 working on set at any given time, that's pretty great. Deity, can we have a 6-pack? You know, it'd be super perfect is a 6-pack with a charging case. Ooh. I should point out that our DP actually made the purchase decision on these based on needing multiple cameras synced. The price was right. Super easy to work with, except for the whole, how the hell do you unlock it? And there you have it, the dream of yesteryear. Perfect timecode control for everybody on set for a very low price. Go get a bunch, maybe 6. What do you think, Deity? 6? Is 6 gonna work? All right, see you next time.